All right, friends, it's T-Man. We're back again with a brand new video by JasonBlaha. I don't know. I guess I'm going to do a reaction video to the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slaves video, bro. So let's see what Blaha has to say. Blaha, the gym slave, says why some people do not make gains on low volume training. You don't make gains on low volume training. If you're adapted, you're not going to make any gains. There you go. If you're adapted to these exercises or whatever it is you're doing there, then you are not going to make gains. Intensity is what gives you gains, but not volume. Intensity.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. Today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about...
Again, intensity means duration. Duration means intensity. So when they say duration and intensity, what they're meaning is if you're working intensely, that means that you're going to go for a very long haul. Listen, if you're going to do 20 fucking sets for a muscle group, right? I don't know, let's say your thighs. You do 30 sets of squats for your thighs. Well, is that not intense? Yes. Is that not intensity and duration? Yes, man. It's associated with duration. It's intensity. So it's duration. What's the duration part? The amount of sets you're doing. So why? Why are you doing that? Because squats are associated with eccentric exercise because they start with the down force. They don't start with concentric. They start with eccentric. They go down and then you go up. Instead of like fucking deadlifting, you just pull up and then you drop down. See what I mean? So it's kind of obvious. Hello. The more sets you do, the more you're able to eke out these adaptations in the eccentric form. You're able to grow your muscles, mass, density, sarcomerogenesis, a bunch of things, okay? Myofibular growth. That's associated with real muscle growth.
Why some people don't make gains on really low volume training. Again, one of those topics where when people bring this up, I always point out that...
Yes, why don't they make glycogen gains on very low volume? Because volume is associated with what? If you're adapted and you're doing volume, it's associated with sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, bro. Get it? Christ, you want to see this? I'll prove this to you in this video. Because, you know, you're going to get these people from outside. They always come around, buzzing around my channel. So you could take this right out. This is like just one, but you take it right out of fucking PubMed and CBI, okay? Muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks of high volume resistance training in trained young men is largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Now, does that sound to you like myofibular hypertrophy? No. So what are they talking about? Why was it largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, their training? Because let's just say these people, they had them on a strict regime of lifting. The first week, they might have gotten some myofibular growth. So a very small amount because they got damaged. Because whatever they were doing here, they probably weren't accustomed to doing it. Even though they're trained people, you can still do something that you're unaccustomed to doing. See what I mean? And so they had him come in and do this exercise regime, whatever it was. That's why they say largely attributed to sarcoplasmic. So what was the other part? Muscle fiber hypertrophy. Muscle fiber hypertrophy. Okay. Fibers are hypertrophy. It doesn't say anything here about myofibular growth, does it? Myofibril growth? Doesn't say that. It just says muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks, boom. And it says those fibers hypertrophy and through what? The sarcoplasm, not myofibular growth. There you go. And they'll tell you down here, it's glycogen. It tells you what this is, this stuff. It's glycogen. It's the glycogen that's causing the sarcoplasm to expand. Because volume is associated with endurance, because they're adapted to these exercises. They quickly adapted after the first week. And most likely, I don't know exactly what they were doing here. They are trained people. They're coming in, they're lifting. So they put them on a lifting regime. If that lifting regime, they weren't exactly adapted to it, but still, I mean, There's no more adaptations because they're trained individuals. Get it? If you're trained, there's no more adaptations. That's what they're talking about. A trained person means a person that is trained means that that person is not getting any adaptations. No, there's no adaptations. So they came in here, they did this thing for 6 weeks. I don't know what they got in the first week. Maybe there was a scintilla of like fucking myofibrillar growth. But then it largely attributed to what? Sarcoplasmic. Because they're adapted. They're trained individuals, bro. Get it? Regardless of what they were doing here. If you can't understand that, it's hard for me to explain it to you. You need to visualize with your brain. You need to see these things, how they work in your brain, like Tesla. You know, you take it apart, you put it together, and then you bring it out in reality. You have to see it visually and understand this, what they're talking about, what they're doing here. So yes. Anyways, let's go back to Blaha. I don't want to get lost here.
People can make phenomenal gains on low volume training, 5-6 sets a week.
Yes, you can make phenomenal sarcoplasmic gains. Whatever, 3, 4, 5 weeks, like it said there.
Plenty of clients who are very busy.
Doing volume as a trained, adapted athlete, yes.
Who we train.
Because it's based on endurance. Let's explain this. You're adapted. You're a trained individual, so you're coming in often, and you are now an endurance lifter. You're performing endurance slave, get it? And so what's endurance associated with? Glycogen loading. So what's that gain? What are they talking about? The myofibers. Remember, there's oxidative, and there's, what do you call it? Man, my mind is not working today. Fuck it. Oxidative and glycolytic. Sorry. That's the word I'm looking for. Glycolytic. They are listen to the word glycolytic. Glycogen. Yes, they're low glycogen. They will load glycogen. That's why they say sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's an energy source. So you're hypertrophying the energy source within the muscles, and you're using it so you could be a good lifting gym slave. Get it? Really, really, really good. But that's not associated with myofibrillar growth. That's something special. That is something very astronomically difficult to accomplish. That is very taxing, difficult. It's really hard on people. They don't like it. You have to go through a pain threshold. You have to go through this intensity and duration of the exercise. It goes very long. The session is very long. Then you need to go through a repair and a remodeling the rest of the week. You need to eat a lot to grow these muscles, these myofibrils, but it's a lot of work, bro. But if you're just a lifting slave coming in, lifting, pretending, pretend lifting, pretend growing, pretend everything, well, yeah, go ahead and pretend. That's easy. Anybody can pretend, or just inject a steroid and pretend, right? Pretend, put oil in your muscles, like what is these people, they inject synthol in their muscles, right? They pretend people, get it? There's a lot of people out there that pretend. That's okay. You know what I mean? I don't know how that's going to work for you and to carry over for other sports. I don't think so. Bodybuilding is just something you build your body and then you use it for sports. It's a carryover to every other sport.
Really hard. They're pretty big. They're pretty strong, doing like 6 sets of muscle group a week.
Because real bodybuilding is based on eccentric exercise, not concentric.
Working out 3 days a week, but I also have people who do.
Yeah, working out 3 days a week. You're adapted. You're an endurance person. You're an endurance person, bro. Get it?
To 20 sets. So, I mean, for me as a coach, I really tend to assess these things based upon the free time, the needs, the mindset, everything of the client, and again, their overall lifestyle, what their work capacity, recovery looks like, all of that. Okay. So I do not fall into either camp to where I have a dogmatic view, other than I do say that as training volumes start to go up,
Blaha has never built a muscle on his body. He's just a big, fat kind of dude, okay? He's just a fat dude. He's holding water, some glycogen in his body here. He's got a little puffy look here. He lifts every day, so he's suffering from inflammation. His body's inflamed. That adds to the hypertrophy. You're hypertrophying the cells through inflammation. Get it? Chronic inflammation, lifting. a bunch of things. So it's fake. Like I said, people fake it all the time. They go to the gym to inflame their muscles and walk around with inflamed muscles, and they go, look, I'm big. Get it, bro? The muscle cells filled up with water because that's the inflammation part. And then you walk around and go, look, I look big. And then you go, oh my God, I'm losing my gains. I got to go back to the gym and lift because my gains are going. What gains are going, bro? These fake inflammatory response gains. Give me a break, man. And glycogen loading, eating pizza, Coca-Cola all day, hamburgers, shit, and French fries.
You'll get a rapid diminished returns in muscle growth. And if you're not recovering,
You get a rapid diminished return in muscle growth. Real muscle growth is based on myofibrillar growth. That's real muscle growth. There isn't any diminished returns or anything like that going on there. You have to construct them by damage. You need to damage them so then your body can reconstruct them bigger and stronger. They adapt by getting bigger and stronger. When they get bigger, they get stronger. Get it? You get stronger. It isn't I get stronger at lifting concentrically and I'm going to get it bigger. You're going to get inflammatory response, but you're going to get there. That's about it.
from those sessions sufficiently, you will possibly get even less muscle growth. So it's in theory volume, probably up to a certain extent. Maybe
you'll get less muscle growth. You won't get any sarcomeres. What kind of muscle growth are you talking about? Maybe some protein buildup. You talk about massing up the myofibrillars themselves. Yeah, that is, again, you need these nuclei. And how do you get them? Through a damaging session. They're donated through a damaging session. The nuclei. They just don't just like appear. They just randomly, it's given to you or something out of the blue because you lifted a weight. Why, you're a special unicorn. I come to the gym, I lifted a weight, so it should give me these nuclei to synthesize protein and continue on growth. No, it just doesn't work like that. It's not easier said than done.
Open-ended in its ability to add tiny extra amounts of muscle growth if you can recover from it. So it's a question of
I think the best supplement is amino acids, but only in a damaging session. They're really good for the first 2 days, high dosages the very first 2 days. So let's say you come in the first day to do your whole upper body, a huge damaging session, the whole upper body. Intensity, duration, it's going to last you a couple hours, whatever, boom. When you come in, you take 6 to 8 of these tablets, high dose amino acids. I'd say about 8's too much, man. 6 before you come in, and then after you work out, you take another 6, okay? And then that's it. You just do your meals and whatever, eat a lot. Just eat shitloads of real animal protein. And then the next day you do your legs, the same thing, 6 and 6, and then that's it. You don't do more than you don't keep doing them every single day. There are crazy people that want to do amino acids every day. It just will overstimulate your pituitary, and then it'll run out. Within 2 months, you'll be very low with growth hormone and hormones. They'll bottom out, and then the next 2 months you need to wait for it to go back up again, to tank up again. You'll be tanked out. That's the problem. It's like MK, what is that modulator? MK77, whatever, MK77, the SARM shit. Well, that's like the amino acids. They do this thing where it says it stimulates growth hormone stuff. Well, that's what amino acids do. High doses of them stimulate growth hormone. That's what they do. But anyways, you don't want to keep overstimulating for no reason. That doesn't make any sense either.
just getting good gains, great gains, or are we trying to optimize?
Yeah, good gains, great gains. It's like going to the gym. It's not about going and trying to damage muscles every single day, because they don't grow damaging every day. They grow when they get damaged, and then they grow the next week. Get it?
But we come back over to the point of when I say stuff like people can still get more than half of their gains, if not more, per month, per year, doing relative.
They're not. He's lying to you. That's why everybody's complaining about newbie gain limit, genetic limit, newbie gain limit, and a hard gainer.
Really low volumes, as low as 5 or 6 sets a week. Okay? But when I say that, you get people who are like, there's no way. They're like, there's no way. Like, I've tried that and I didn't get any gains. And I'll see guys who do that.
Yeah, they don't get any gains because they're not eating enough glycogen and whatever. They got some inflammatory response gains. That's about it.
And I've seen guys who do that.
Like Blaha.
And let's be honest, if you're trying to train with those sort of volumes, you have to train really hard. Okay? when you're doing 15 sets of muscle group, your individual sets.
See, he can't even do an exercise that's really eccentric. It's eccentric because it starts with the eccentric exercise. He can't even do it. He makes it into a concentric exercise somehow. Ridiculous power lifter. He went down like he was shitting on a toilet seat. I mean, what's the point of having a box squat here if you're doing a box squat without the box? Get it, man? That wasn't an eccentric. That wasn't eccentric.
Don't matter as much.
Right there. That's where he stops. So he doesn't go all the way down. His butt is sticking all the way out. Want to know why? He sticks the butt as far out as he could get it. His fucking chest is touching his knees. Look, a lot of people, they do this in the gym. Their chest nipples are practically touching their knees. Their butt's all the way out, and the bar is all the way at the top, and the butt's all the way out there. So they could bounce back up. They just want to get it back up as fast as possible. Because why? Because eccentric exercise is uncomfortable. It's associated with building muscles. And he doesn't want to build muscles because it's uncomfortable. He doesn't want to go all the way down because he doesn't want to build muscles because it's fucking uncomfortable, bro. Get it? Doing eccentric exercise. So this guy has turned this exercise into a concentric exercise, which is an eccentric one.
Am I saying they don't matter? So again, people say stuff like that and they think...
Look at that. Did you see that one? It was even less. It was even less.
You said they don't matter. No, it's not what I said. I said they matter.
Right there. Look at him. Look how he's leaning. Look how he's leaning. Your butt is supposed to be touching the back of your heels. You understand me? That's a real exercise, real eccentric exercise. This is fake.
Less. Okay? They matter less. So when you train in that manner, you accumulate.
Did you see that? Did you see that? He just went down to bounce it back up. He just barely even went down.
Enough overall fatigue that it's oftentimes...
Christ, four reps? You think that's enough to cause any kind of damage? And he's not getting damaged because he didn't do anything eccentrically here. So, like I said, he runs away from building muscles, but he wants to keep convincing you that somehow weights have magic powers. They're going to build you muscles. No, bro, they don't have magic powers. You actually have to build muscle in the real world naturally. You got to go through the pain. No pain, no gain, dude. It's just like that.
With moderately hard, moderately challenging sets.
Look, I understand it sucks. I went through this many times, even now in my old age and when I was younger, doing eccentric exercises. It sucks. You got to go through a pain threshold and everything. It sucks. I understand that. You want to be comfortable. If you want to be comfortable, then you can't get anything. You understand me? You must be willing to do the things today that other people are not willing to do in order to have the things tomorrow that other people will not fucking have, bro.
You can probably make pretty dang good gains.
You're not.
As long as they're decently hard. I mean, they need to be somewhat challenging. They need to be somewhat challenging.
No.
Right? 2-3 reps left in the tank.
Slide.
Perfectly reasonable. 3 reps in reserve, but if it's a 3 reps in reserve, yeah, you'll do just fine. On those sort of volumes, you'll make gains.
You're not going to make gains.
When we start cutting down to 5 or 6 sets, that's probably not going to cut it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the guys who are not making gains, they're just not training hard enough. And I had a guy, he told me, he's like, but I train hard. I do train hard. I'm like, really? Because I'm...
Yeah, saying you're training hard and training hard are two different things. But I train hard. How do you're not training hard because you're not focused. You can still get damaged even if you are adapted to your eccentric exercise, providing you do train hard. Intensity and duration. That's what it's all about.
Watching you, you don't train hard. It's like, what do you mean? And I don't mean like when people try to say, oh, you didn't hit failure when they watch me literally hit muscle failure. No, I hit failure. But in his case, he's like, I didn't have any more reps. I'm like, I'm watching.
How many people do you know that actually turn a bench press into a concentric lift? And he's going to convince you that concentric builds muscles. They don't build muscles, bro. Get it? It's associated with a loss of sarcomeres.
I can tell that you're not even working hard. And in his mind, and in the mind of a lot of people who think they're working hard, and he later admitted, in fact, he's one of my testimonials, to where he put in the testimonial, Jason taught me what truly working hard is. because he wasn't working hard. He was doing the sort of lower volumes. He was doing 6
Oh,
sets. And he was
brother,
like,
man.
I'm gaining literally nothing. I'm gaining no strength, no muscle after months. And I'm talking, when I say no strength, I'm talking he was struggling to bench 1 plate per side for reps, and he had been training a couple years already. Like, so he wasn't even at like a 60, 70 kilo bench really. Well, we blew him past that for rep work really, really fast. But I mean, I had him an example. He was doing dumbbell rows. I'm like, dude, that's nowhere near heavy enough for even the size you have now, or for the reps. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I can only do 11 reps or 12 reps or whatever it was. That's it. And it hurts, and I'm stopping. I said, pump it. I can't do it anymore. I had him add weight. So we took the dumbbell he had been using. This is even virtual. I got real time in the camera. I'm like, I want you to actually control the weight on the way down, and I want you to explode up. Stop with this nonsense. Stop with this super slow eccentrics.
Here we go. Stop with the super slow eccentrics. I only recommend slow eccentrics for older people. They're good for older people. Slow eccentrics, okay? They can't manage certain things. Slow eccentrics get great for them. But then, again, if you're doing slow eccentrics, intensity and duration, you're going to have to do a lot more than you would normally do to get an adaptation.
There's actually minimal evidence to support that, by the way. I find a lot of guys who do super slow eccentrics, their sets just burn out early.
Well, me personally, because it's type 2 muscle fibers, the motion, to me personally, the motion has to be rapid. It's an overworking of that muscle to get it to damage. It's not an overtraining. Overtraining is what this guy does. Volume overtraining, coming in every day, whatever these people are doing. Overworking on the day, that muscle, is what's going to cause it to damage, and rapid firing, because you don't want to sit there all day waiting for it to damage, going up and down slowly. See what I mean? Of course, it could damage slowly if the weight was astronomically heavy. So yes, it's controlled, okay? Here's the thing. I don't know what weight these guys are doing slow. Is it 25 pounds? But think about it. If it's like 400 pounds going down slow, well, it's controlled going down slow. It's going to cause some tearing there. See what I mean? Providing you're not adapted to it. So yeah, I don't know what Blaha's talking about. It's complicated. He's not a good coach. These are things you should, they're observational things. You observe, you understand in your brain. Your brain tells you 500 pounds going down slow as opposed to 25 pounds going slow all the time. Of course it's not going to give you anything. You're adapted to 25 fucking pounds. What's 25 pounds going to do on a slow eccentric? You'll have to do so many sets and reps to overwork it with 25 pounds to even get some damage there, even a scintilla. But if you're doing 400 pounds down, controlled, yeah, going slow, definitely there's going to be some going on there. Hello, eccentrically, right? Like, think about it. If you got two 45-pound plates and you're going down eccentrically on the squat, right? You go do a couple of sets. You think that's enough to cause some damage going really slow? But what if you're going really slow with 400 pounds? Which one you think is going to cause damage? The two 45-pound plates or the 400 pounds that you're doing squatting? Going down slow. Which one going down slow is going to cause damage? The heavier weight, obviously. Hello. It's being controlled. You got to go down with control with it.
They get no performance and they don't make gains. I'm like, control it at a normal tempo. Like, don't try to lower it 3 seconds. Just let it come down at a normal speed. Right? Not a free fall.
Like thinking, look at Blaha with this one plate. You think he's doing anything with that one plate? You think that one plate's doing anything? Him going back and forth behind his head, rocking it back and forth? No, he's just wasting his time. It just visually looks good for you to make these videos. He does the exact same exercises, the exact same moves every single day. He's been adapted to them eons ago. He just does them for what? For YouTube, for you. For the visual slaves that are watching him.
Just a bit of control. Just a controlled eccentric, right? He did. I had him add weight.
Yeah, controlled eccentric. Now Blaha says he had him add weight. Yeah, he got to add weight.
And I had him keep going, and then he finally did one. He tried to stretch at the bottom, and he could not stretch it any further. His leg stretched all the way down. He got to 17 reps. Now, previously, a lighter...
You don't need 17 reps. You need more sets but you need a rep range between 8 and 12.
Weight, he was claiming he was done. He couldn't do any more, like a 10 or 11 reps or something. 12 reps, something in that range, right?
Oh, brother.
And he picks up at least 5 more reps when I made him keep going. And I told him, don't stop, no, keep going. And then he's like, I can't. Finally, when it stuck, he just turned red and they wouldn't move. It just stuck at the bottom. Okay, I'm like, okay, you reached muscle failure. And he's like, oh my God, it hurts. It burns. I've not felt this before in my back. I've never felt this before. Okay?
Yeah, I don't feel a burning sensation doing eccentric exercise. I don't feel anything burning there. I don't know what Blaha is talking about. So that means he's going to failure. What's failure? I don't know. He said 17 reps. We don't want to go to failure in eccentric exercise. We simply want to stick to a range of 8 and 12. We don't go to failure. You understand me? We are going to fail at it automatically. We won't be able to lift anymore. Why? Because we have so much fucking micro tears. You're going to lose force capacity. You won't be able to lift it anymore at some point. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't move this anymore. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. There isn't any failure.
Do you guys see where I'm going?
No.
He got at least...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see where you're going. Where are you going? He's an endurance athlete. Got to go to failure, right? Endurance.
5 more reps with a heavier dumbbell.
Right. So deplete the glycogen, right? Go to failure, deplete glycogen so that you can open a window for glycogen synthesis. Wow, great. Go to McDonald's and drink and down a bunch of Cokes. Okay.
Never been within 5 reps of failure. He thought that if you just control the eccentrics and it burns and you get a really good pump, that's training hard. If it hurt.
Wait, control the eccentrics, get a really good pump? Well, yeah, an eccentric, you could get a pump. I mean, if you're eating carbohydrates, I'm not eating that right now. But distinguishing whether you got some damage there or not, it's not about going to failure. Blaha has really got it misconstrued.
If it's burning, then you're training hard.
No, if your muscles are burning, then you are not training properly eccentrically, that's for sure. Muscles do not burn eccentrically. You can feel them almost tearing. You literally could feel tearing and pulling. It's pulling on your muscle a lot eccentrically, heavy weight, but you're not going to feel any burning sensation there. What you're going to feel is muscle weakness eventually by the time you finish in that session.
Wasn't going on how close am I to actually reaching muscle failure. He had never really done sets to failure before at all, or that close. So then afterwards, I'm like, so now you know what muscle failure feels like. So when I tell you to get 1 rep from failure and stop, you know what that feels like now. It's about 5-6 more reps than you normally do.
Yeah, you know what that feels like. You went there, you know what that feels like. But that's not associated with muscle damage, this muscle failure shit.
Yes, what happened? He started making gains.
Yeah. You know what kind of gains he started making when he went to failure as a lifting slave? An endurance lifting performing slave. Sarcoplasmic gains. That's what he got. He went to failure, opened the window for glycogen synthesis instead of protein synthesis, and he started loading up the sarcoplasm. Yeah, he started making gains.
This has been my experience. Same thing. I saw guys who ran the kinobody stuff. They just do the drop sets or whatever. No work capacity.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, no work capacity.
Uh-huh.
Short break drop sets. Come on. And none of them are really to treat failure.
Okay.
Make them work hard. Build their work capacity up a little bit. That's when they start making gains. The problem is that low volume.
Yeah, but the question is, what kind of gains are they making? Is it sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar? Is it just inflammatory response? See what I mean? What kind of gains?
Training is for people who don't have the time or want to spend huge amounts of time at the gym. For people who don't want to train really hard, so if you're doing it because you're lazy, and that's oftentimes the people it appeals to, we just don't need to do that much in the gym. Okay. It's not going to work. You're not going to make progress. Low volume training usually means your sets need to be really hard. Really hard. If you're going to do 5 or 6 sets per muscle.
Your sets need to be really hard. They don't need to be really hard. They need to be very specific.
We can call it quits. Your sets better be intense. They better be hard. There better be some weight on the bar, because you don't get to claim, well, I can only.
Yeah, again, when that weight goes up, what he's doing here, the weight goes up. It goes up light. It goes down even lighter, 2 times lighter. When it goes up and 2 times lighter, man, it's already light going up. So you can imagine how light it is going down like nothing.
So much weight, I'm getting tired. No, you're not tired. You're only doing a few sets.
Yeah.
They just don't train hard enough. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say.
Like Blaha, he doesn't train hard enough. Blaha doesn't need to train. He just takes steroids. It's cosmetic. He does it fakely. Fake. Like everybody else out there. Faking it, bro, to make it. Blaha fakes it to make it.
Stay on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah, it's been informative. Faking it to make it. I'll see you in the next one, man. You tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Don't fall into this trap. The Blaha trap.